if you're trying to get over that hump in your life, you know, and you can't because there's some kind of invisible barrier that's keeping you from going to the next level. And when I say going to the next level, there's some kind of invisible barrier that's keeping you from getting your money right. Some kind of barrier that's keeping you from even getting in a healthy relationship. I'm telling you, a lot of this stuff online now that we hear people talking about, men and women, you know, men talking about red pill this, women talking about get his back. You know, a lot of that stuff is not something that people got in their 30s and 40s and say, you know what? This is my truth. A lot of people are really just speaking on what they saw growing up.
Is it not written in your law that ye are gods? You understand what I'm saying? So it just depends on what level you own based on, whether you're human or whether you're immortal.
At ease. It's your boy Soul Immortal. Why your trauma must be addressed. Why your trauma must be addressed. You know, I don't know if it's this time of year, man, but every time, you know, it gets around Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, I believe this is more of an emotional time for people. You know, I think this is the time, you know, when family is getting together, you know, you're having your dinners and your shindigs, man. And a lot of emotions, a lot of old traumas are stirred up, you know, around this time of year, man. I'm starting to notice that, right? And I was even thinking to myself, man, I was thinking about a brother, and I call him a brother, man, that was in my life that meant a lot to me just here recently, man. There was an old school brother in my life, man, at a very young age, you know, during my teenage years. And man, I ain't gonna lie, this brother, he always went above and beyond for me, you know, throughout my teenage years and even in my 20s, right? And I remember even during the time this brother was, you know, giving me knowledge, giving me, you know, assistance in life, I was always appreciative of this man, but I don't think I really understood what he was doing for me until I got like 25, 27, you know, up in my 30s, right? And I can remember some years later, man, this may have been, I don't know, 7 years ago, 8, 9 years ago, I can't remember. But I remember I was going through East Texas and I saw him, you know, again, he was up in age at this point in time. I can remember I saw him mowing a church yard. He was mowing the church's lawn, right? And when I realized it was him, I was getting ready to turn around, man, and kind of just go have this face-to-face conversation with him just to say, you know what, as a man, say, you know what, man, I appreciate all you did with me, man, all you did for me. And I can remember going to I kept going. I went to a gas station, man. I said, let me get him some drinks. I got some Gatorade, some peanuts, some snacks. And when I went back, he was gone, right? And in my mind, I was thinking, you know, well, when I see him again, man, I'll have that conversation with him. And brothers, it wasn't but like 3 or 4 weeks later, man, I got word that this brother passed away, right? And I'm telling you, man, that burned in my heart. It burned me that I didn't have the opportunity, again, as a man, to look him in his face and say, you know what? I appreciate what you did for me, man, you know? But it started me to thinking about what that would be like if the tables were turned, right? In other words, what that would be like if instead of him being such a blessing in my life, what if he would have been, you know, a sore in my life? What if he would have been the source of trauma in my life? And I'm telling you, when we have these type situations in our lives and we don't confront them, we don't address them, we don't have those face-to-face conversations saying, you know what, just like I would have told this brother, man, like this is the impact you had on my life. Having these conversations saying, you know what, this is how you screwed me up. You know, if we don't have those conversations, brothers, I'm telling you, it's damaging, man. You know, over the last few years, you know, I've had the opportunity to talk to a lot of people, man. People, you know, call it and you know, we'll chop it up on consultations, and people will share a lot of heavy stuff with me, man. People will share, like, you know, things they experienced growing up in their childhood, things they experienced with their fathers, their mothers. You know, sisters will share with me things that they had happen inappropriately. And what I'm starting to notice is that what we do as humankind, right? We tend to just sweep these things under the rug. You know, we tend to say, you know what? Well, I'm older now, man. Let me just start building my life off of what I know now. But I'm telling you, brothers, it's not that easy. Like if you aren't choosing to address it and you're choosing to ignore it, it's still causing damage, man. It's still causing damage. And what I'm noticing, man, is that I can remember this. I can remember right before I joined the military, a good friend of mine, female friend, man, she had grew up. I mean, I had known her my whole life. She was just like one of the boys, right? I can remember she asked me to go to I think it was her grandfather's, I don't know what birthday it was. I don't know if it was 70 or 8. It was some significant number. Her grandfather was having a birthday party, and I went with her, man. And man, I can remember just her family was like the bomb. We had a good time, and I can remember one of her uncles. You know, I gravitated to him real good, man. He made me feel like family, right? And I can remember some years later when he passed away, which probably about 10 years ago. He passed away, and she was having a conversation with me about him, right? And she was like, remember all those times I told you that all these things happened in my life and I couldn't tell my family and this? She said that was the uncle that was doing that. And I was like, wow, like I didn't know. I'm sitting there chopping it up with this brother, and this is the one that, you know, so what I'm noticing is that, man, a lot of us become pretenders. You know, we'll be traumatized and things will happen to us in our life, and there's a variety of things that can happen, right? But we'll it's almost like a post-dramatic type. Let me pretend like it didn't happen. Let me put on a fake mask and govern myself accordingly when I'm in certain environments type vibe. But I'm telling you, brothers, this is not healthy because these traumas have to be addressed. Let me tell you why traumas can't be ignored. This is why they can't be ignored. But because when you don't address it, when you choose to ignore it, you're only going to magnify it in your life, and you're only going to pass it to the next generation. Like there's no way around that. Like when I get online, man, I'm scrolling through the gram, and I see sisters get online and they twerking in front of the camera, right? You know, they doing whatever they do. But when I see like a small child in the background just sitting there watching, just sitting there observing, in my mind, what I'm thinking, I'm saying, you know what? Okay, yeah, she's just doing a little dance on the screen, and she's showing cheeks on the screen or whatever she's doing. I said, but, you know, and that child is watching. I said, but what is she doing when she's not doing this? You know, what kind of interactions, what kind of traffic is she having? What kind of things is she spoke? You know, what's taking place when she's not doing this? And what people don't understand is when that child sees that, you have no idea that child is calling that, you know, his truth now. That's child's truth. So now when he grows up, if his girl isn't doing that, if his woman isn't conducting herself like that, she's not even suitable. She's not even suitable. And I'm telling you, a brother can't get over that. He can't get past that unless he's addressed it. Unless he says, yeah, you know what? Mama was wilding. You know what I'm saying? It's no different than when a young brother see, you know, when young brothers see a father coming in late night, right? Let's say a young man sees his father coming in every night, late night. He's smelling like Crown Raw, right? He's smelling like MD 2020. He's smelling like stripper juice. You know what I'm saying? And a child is seeing this. It's becoming his reality. And if at some point in time, you know, when he gets, you know, a teenager, when he gets 22 years old, if he doesn't say, you know what, like, Dad, let me talk to you for a second. Like, you know, when you was doing this, like that formed something in me, like that formed a truth. You know, because if you don't address it, what will happen is that will be your new reality. You know, if you aren't coming home drunk every night, if you aren't doing certain things, you know, at late night, if you aren't treating your relationship a certain way, like that's going to be your truth, man. So that's what I'm saying. Like we have to address these things. We have to stop being pretenders, because by being pretenders, I'm telling you, we're only passing generational curses on to the next generation, right? And it's not even that, man. I was thinking about something. I was thinking about like that's the outer experience. You know, addressing trauma outwardly, right? But at the same time, there's something going on the inside. And I was thinking about something I read, I think it was a live a few weeks ago, coming out of the Master Key system, right? Charles Hannah. And it's a quote. It says, as all conditions are thought creations and therefore entirely mental, disease and lack are simply mental conditions in which the person fails to perceive the truth. As soon as the error is removed, the truth is removed. I'm telling you, brothers, when I read that and apply it to, traumas that people have, it automatically makes me think of course, we can say lack. We can associate, a lack to it. But I really think that a lot of physical ailments that we have are caused by traumas. I think some of the situations that we had, that people had in their childhood, or the cancers of the world, or the diabetes, or all these other things, right? Like when it says that everything comes from a thought form. Like, I believe that when we have these traumatic experiences, whatever they may be, man, like these are some of the causes that throw our mental, our thought process off. Again, these are the ailments, these are the cancers in our thoughts that manifest themselves in the physical, right? Again, man, like there are 1,000,001 reasons why traumas must be addressed. But I'm telling you, man, if you're trying to, cut generational curses, man, if you're trying to get over that hump in your life, and you can't because there's some kind of invisible barrier that's keeping you from going to the next level. And when I say going to the next level, there's some kind of invisible barrier that's keeping you from getting your money right. Some kind of barrier that's keeping you from even getting in a healthy relationship. I'm telling you, a lot of this stuff online now that we hear people talking about, men and women, men talking about red pill this, women talking about get his back. A lot of that stuff is not something that people got in their 30s and 40s and say, you know what? This is my truth. A lot of people are really just speaking on what they saw growing up, and it's only going to get worse, man, if we don't start talking to it. If we don't start having those hard conversations, if we don't start cutting those people off that cause the trauma, but this stuff it's just gonna keep on going, man. So yeah, traumas must be addressed.